Good evening, vinyl community. Hi, hope everyone is keeping really well. Rob back for another video. This is to a thank you, really, for yet more VCLT. Yes, I've been blessed by the VC members again, with showering me with gifts. And so the first lot I'm going to show you is from a wonderful guy called Pete. I'm sure quite a lot of you know him. Pete sounds from the West Coast up in the north of England, or more specifically the northwest in Cumbria. And lovely part of the world. And he sent me some VCLT package, but the way this kind of came about is that he had a load of I think duplicate albums, sort of records that he was looking to upgrade, having a bit of a clear out. So he actually messaged me a few weeks ago and asked me if there was any of these records that I would like. And there was quite a lengthy list. There's quite a lot of metal and stuff in there, stuff that I wasn't particularly interested in. But there was about sort of half a dozen or so titles that I was intrigued by. He actually sent me all of them, bar one, which was an Ian Matthews album that he said sadly went to somebody else. That's absolutely fine. I did put a caveat in response to his message to say that, I'm very, very grateful, but if anybody sort of waxes lyrical, absolutely must have any of these albums. Please prioritize them, send them on, and anything that you can send me, obviously, I'd be extremely grateful for. So, basically, it ended up that he sent me 4 albums, which I think was my original quote. I think what I asked for, I did sort of think that I was being a little greedy. So I sort of, that's why I said, apologized for being, although he said it's absolutely fine. He said you can ask for as many as you like. He actually threw a CD in as well, which actually I've just played, which is this. So this is a CDR of a French folk artist called Pierre Bensusan, and this is Près de Paris, if I've pronounced that correctly. He's basically said this because he had a CDR of it, presumably because he couldn't find an original on vinyl. And then he said that he did. He actually found this and his second album on vinyl, so he was happy to relinquish this and send it as kind of a bit of a bonus. And what a lovely listen. I've actually just literally finished listening to this. Really lovely. He sings in French, as you'd expect, because he is French. Any fans of kind of Bert Jansch, John Renbourn, Pentangle, that kind of slightly jazzy, sort of late 60s, early 70s acoustic folk with a little bit of a jazzy feel, would absolutely love this. Fantastic. Even the vocal tracks in French, which obviously some of which I didn't really understand, my French being not the best, but the feel is just lovely. Really, really nice. He also touches on things like bluegrass as well, and some just wonderful instrumentals. I mean, you can just hear, his guitar playing. He's just a real virtuoso. Fantastic. And say this is his debut album, apparently, from 1974. I'd never heard it before, but I'm very, very grateful to Pete that he put him in my direction, because I will certainly be looking out for more. So that's lovely. That's Pierre Bensusan and Pré de Paris. Okay, so the next one that I requested was this. So this is the Kinks, and this is their 1977 album Sleepwalker. I was interested in this because I'd never heard it before, and sort of after sort of Schoolboys in Disgrace, I'm really quite unfamiliar with the Kinks, and I guess my attitude was that you know, their records genuinely get weaker, arguably, as the 70s wore on. I think you know, albums like Percy, Muswell Hillbillies, Everyone's in Show Business, Everyone's a Star. I think that has its moments. When you kind of get after that kind of period, the quality starts to wane a little bit. But there's always gems, because, you know, Ray Davies is just a genius writer. He still carries that wit, humor, irony in his lyrics, sort of social, you know, observations, just really sharp. Obviously, you can tell from the picture there's that kind of vaudevillian sort of moniker that he kind of took on. But I think a difficult time for anybody really at this period of the 70s, particularly given the burgeoning kind of punk of sort of 1977. It's been very, very difficult for, you know, artists from the 60s and so on to kind of remain relevant. And I would say that probably the Kinks were a handful of those that arguably still did. For me, I wouldn't say, I mean, I've only played this through once, so it's not terribly memorable, if I'm honest. But I did enjoy it. It was just that a lot of the songs kind of sounded quite similar. They've kind of got that kind of sort of, that bluesy kind of Stonesy kind of mid-70s feel. Nothing wrong with that at all. But there, you know, on a first listen, there wasn't anything particularly that kind of stood out for me. But yeah, very, very happy to have it, and I'll be certainly looking forward to playing it again and giving it some more attention. Okay, next one is a band, American band, that I only actually had their debut album prior to receiving this. So this is the Youngbloods, and this is their 1969 album, Ride the Wind. Sorry, I didn't show the label on the other one. That was a Fame reissue. This is on that kind of green Warner Brothers. It comes with a lyric sheet there. Yeah, and I didn't like it as much as the first album. I'm gonna say, you know, it's kind of it's a bit more kind of, the songs are stretched out. I think they were kind of getting into, there was that kind of burgeoning blues rock kind of sound at the end of the 60s, which kind of, after psychedelia kind of started to become quite fashionable. A lot of bands were kind of taking that on board. I think the reason I like the first album so much is that there was a lot of kind of poppier, snappier songs with a kind of slight psych tinge, I guess, which made them kind of arguably more interesting. Nice, there's certainly some nice songs on this for sure. and some very sort of stretched out compositions. But yeah, I probably need to play it again to really really absorb it. As I say, I've only given it one play so far, but yeah, nice addition. So that's Youngbloods and Ride the Wind. Okay, this one I was quite excited to get because I don't have anything by them at all. So this is Quintessence and Indweller. I think this might be one of their last albums. So this is from 1972. On RCA Victor. Yeah, and I really like this. I've been meaning to get some Quintessence for a long time. I used to see their original album, the first one, with the kind of the candles on the front, with the kind of gatefold, like the doors kind of opening up on the cover. Never picked it up. Sometimes, well, most of the time I used to see it was quite expensive, so it used to kind of put me off a little bit. But yeah, kind of progressive, kind of psyche kind of feel. Really great songs, great vocals. The kind of chant like Jesus My Life, first track I really liked. Butterfly Music, lovely. Holy Roller, Cy Barber. Yeah, really nice. All the tracks. There's quite a lot of variety here. It kind of changes up quite a lot. So there was a lot to kind of hold my attention with the kind of instrumentation and kind of feel with the kind of sitars and so on. And yeah, so very kind of psyche, proggy kind of feel. Really enjoyed it. A little bit crackly, noisy here and there, but Pete did say that. So, you know, but free records, I'm not going to complain. And that makes a really nice placeholder. So happy to get that. Okay, and then the last one from Pete. He actually said in his note that this was one that he really didn't get at all, didn't like it. I think it was a bit of a disappointment for him. So on his recent folk video, one of them, because he did two, he played a song by a band called The 18th Day of May, and that was one of the ones that kind of really stood out for me. Just love the energy of the song that he played. Great vocals, great feel, with that kind of folky vibe. And this one that he sent me is a member of that band who's gone solo, who he's collected. But this one, he said, just did absolutely nothing for him. This is Richard Olson and the Familiars. Is it self-titled? Yep, I think it's self-titled. And this is a recent release. This came out last year, 2023. And I'm going to be honest, because you know, there's quite a lot of crossover with mine and Pete's sort of tastes in music. So when he was kind of saying in his note that he really didn't enjoy it, and it was a bit, you know, like this major disappointment, it kind of taints your kind of expectations, and you're thinking to yourself, yeah, I'm probably not maybe going to enjoy this. So I kind of put it on with a little bit of trepidation, but I needn't have worried, because I absolutely love this. In fact, out the four the four albums, the four vinyls he sent me, this is absolutely hands down my favorite. I loved it. I mean, he refers to it as dream pop, and I can kind of hear that, but it's not it's not dream pop as in kind of you know, that sort of 4AD late Cocteau Twins kind of lush, Emma Anderson. It's not like that. There's a little bit more kind of guitar driven, perhaps a little bit more kind of harkening back, perhaps back to sort of before then, or what I heard certainly from a first play. I thought the vocals were great. The songs had a really nice atmosphere, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, to be honest with you. So, go figure. There's no accounting for taste, is there, with music? It's very, very, very subjective. So, Pete, this ain't going anywhere. This is definitely staying with me, and I will certainly be investigating more of this stuff. And it's banned before the 18th day of May. Absolutely. So, thank you, Pete. Very much appreciated. So yeah, if you don't know Pete, go and check out his channel. It's Sounds from the West Coast. You'll totally enjoy him if you're into folk stuff that's a little bit left field, prog. But he's got very eclectic tastes. He likes all sorts. So, and the production quality of his videos are really good. And it's always an enjoyable watch to see what he's picked up. So, okay, so the last one, again, VCLT. This is an album that I was told I already owned. Actually, I had it on CD, but I was messaged by this person to say, would I like the copy? Because he had a broken copy, a copy that was sent from the internet that he ordered, and it was scratched. So he was happy to let it go for free because I think he got a refund on it. So yeah, this is from wonderful Headley, fat bearded man, another fat bearded man talking about records. And this is wonderful Sybil Byer and her album, her one and only album, as far as I can tell, The Colour Green. So I'd never heard of Sybil Byer at all. She's a German artist. And a song was played on a folk artist that I follow called Katie Spencer. She does kind of a podcast and sort of radio. She has a radio spot fairly regularly, or she used to. I haven't listened for a while, but she'd play sort of favourite songs and so on and stuff that she discovered that she really enjoyed. And one of the songs that she played, I think it was Tonight, which is the opening track. I can't really remember, but just wonderful, just the vocal, just this kind of lonely kind of vocal with very simple kind of acoustic accompaniment. And it turns out that she's, like I say, she's a German artist, and she literally just recorded songs between 1970 and 73. They'd never been issued because she did have a brief stint as an actress in a German film, but she didn't pursue either acting or a music career, rather traveled to the USA and raised a family. And her son, years later, in the early 2000s, I think, found obviously the demo tapes, put them together, and made this what became this album, and just literally just gave it out to family and friends as a bit of a kind of just as a gift, to be kept within the family. But it was kind of got out into the public domain eventually, as these things kind of do, because really talented artists, eventually they get discovered and they get put out there. And I think it was it Orange? I think it was Orange Records or something like that. Obviously got the CD and got a master, so I dare say it's it's mastered from digital copy, but that's fine, because at least the world at large can listen to these wonderful songs, and it's a beautiful, beautiful record. It's just a real sense of loneliness, loss, but it's kind of dark and brooding, but it's just such a beauty in and honesty in the performances, and it's just wonderful. And you can see why these kind of one-off artists just they get lauded, and for good reason, because it was like a lifetime up to the time she'd recorded these songs of her kind of pain, and there's a catharsis there and everything that she'd put into the music, and it just comes out just beautifully in this beautiful album. The last song, Give Me a Smile, I think it's orchestrated, and absolutely beautiful. My brother loved it so much, I ended up playing it about 4 times over, I think, something like that. So yeah, I mean, lovers of kind of Nick Drake, sort of delicate folk with a guitar, would absolutely just love this. It is beautiful. So thank you again, Headley, for that, and Pete, really appreciate that. Or anybody that sends me music, definitely. So yeah, go out and check out Headley's channel as well. He's just recently done a quite an amusing video with John 6-inch Pianist. Two of them seem to be kind of partnering up quite a lot recently. So but yeah, Headley's got a great channel. He's into kind of Americana, folk, and country, but a lot else as well. And he's a great personality, and half an hour or so will just fly by watching one of his videos. So go and check him out. So thank you guys once again. Anybody watching this, always appreciated. Thank you. It'd be interested to hear your comments, of course, and take care. And I'll be back with another video hopefully soon. Cheers, all the best. Bye-bye.